Hi guys, my name is the driver's teacher. Today I want us to talk about runabout management or how to drive within runabout. Most of the time we see people making or doing a lot of mistakes at the runabout intersection. Per the laws on our road, it is not everything that you can do when you get to a runabout. Now let's move to the board and have a look at the sketch of a runabout on the board, and let's discuss how we are going to use the runabout and see some of the rules at the runabout so that whenever we get to the runabout, we won't be found wanted. So this is the sketch of the runabout on the board. You should have it in mind that at every runabout, we have in and out. That is where you can exit and where you can enter. So this is a single carriageway runabout which has a dual carriage in the runabout. So the entering or the lanes that leads to the runabout is single, but it has a wider space. But within the runabout is a dual carriage. And per the laws on our road, at every runabout, traffic on your left always has right of way whenever you hit onto the road. So if you look at the runabout carefully, at every entry of a runabout, you sometimes see a giveaway sign with a triangle like this, or a stop sign inscribed on a board standing at the entry point of the runabout. So when you see these stop signs and the giveaway sign, it is either you see it with the markings, that is a short broken marking, or with a solid marking. And you and I know that every solid marking on the road means stop. So any solid marking that you see on the road means stop. So anytime you see a solid marking on the road, it means stop. Whilst a broken marking on the road means give way. So whenever you see any broken marking, it is telling you that you must give way at that particular junction. So whenever you hit to a runabout and you see these two markings, you should always learn how to go by, because one tells you give way, one tells you to stop. Earlier, I said that traffic within runabout, that is in the runabout, always have the right of way, or traffic on your left always have the right of way. This is what I mean. Let's assume that driver A is here, driver B is here. Looking at where driver B is and driver A is now approaching the runabout and willing to enter. So driver B is already within the runabout. So automatically driver B is at the left side of driver A, which gives driver B the right to go. So anytime that you are entering into runabout, whenever you get there, you must always watch your left first. So when you watch your left and you see a car within the runabout already coming, meaning that car must go before you. So you don't need to cross that particular car. So take note of the first. One will ask, why am I saying that traffic within runabout always have the right of way? This is it. I told you that if you look at the sketch, driver A and driver B is at the left side of driver A. So meaning at every runabout, at the entry point, anytime you are about to enter, a car will be coming from your left side, and that particular car has the right. So let's assume another car is also here, willing to enter. There's a car coming from this side. Automatically, the car here is at the left side of this driver. So this driver has the right. Another car too here, willing to enter. There are cars coming from this side. Automatically, the car has the right. Another car here, also willing to enter. There's also a car coming from this side. Automatically, also at the left side of it. So we said traffic within runabout always has a right of way. So whenever you are approaching a runabout, you must always take your time and not to be in a rush to enter into the runabout. We have a fair idea or a fair clue about the runabout. Now let's look at the rules at the runabout. I said earlier that in every runabout we have rules. So the first rule that we are going to talk about is whenever you are approaching runabout, you must always slow down at the runabout. So anytime you are approaching a runabout, the first thing that you must do is that you slow down as you approach the runabout and keep to the right side of the splitted island. You see, this is the entry point of the runabout, and this side is the splitted part of the island where they've done the pavement and all that. So they said whenever you are approaching to the runabout, keep to the right. You slow down and you keep to the right side like this. So you don't just stand at anywhere. No, you keep to the right, because when you are entering, you cannot just enter and go like this. You have to enter in a way that you are not going to cause inconvenience to the other road users. So the first rule is to slow down as you approach the runabout and keep to the right side of the splitted island. The next point is that after you have slowed down at the runabout, you must choose or use a correct lane for your intended directions or destination, wherever you are going. Because everyone at the runabout has his or her reason where he or she is going. So if you know that you are going to the right side, that is the first exit of the runabout, you must always make sure that you will be on the first lane, which is popularly known as the outer lane. So always make sure you be at this side. So you'll be driving through this section and you move out easily without causing any inconvenience to people. So that is the second. The third rule at a runabout is that sometimes within a runabout, at the entry point of the runabout, they sometimes create a zebra crossing for pedestrians. So you must always take special care whenever you are approaching a runabout. So you must always look out for pedestrians, cyclists, and all that other road users who are crossing the road at that particular area. So you must be careful. Also, the next rule is that you must also watch out for the vehicles already in the runabout. Sometimes, as I said earlier, there will be existing vehicles already in the runabout. So when you enter into it, you must watch out for them, including cycles, motorbike, tricycles, and all that. So you must always watch out for those vehicles. The next point is that you must always give way to traffic in the runabout. That is, cars coming from your left side. So what we talked about. So when you're about to enter from the runabout, the cars from your left always has the right of way. So you must give way to them when you get to the runabout. After you giving way to traffic already in the runabout, whenever you are entering into the runabout, you must make sure that from the entry point, there is an adequate gap in between, that is you and the circulating traffic already in the runabout. So you always make sure that from the point of where the circulating traffic is coming from and where you are standing, there's a space between the two of you, enough gap so that it won't cause any inconvenience to traffic within. Take note that in every runabout, vehicle travels in counterclockwise direction. So whenever you find yourself within a runabout, you make sure that you travel in counterclockwise direction. And also you keep to the right side of the runabout. What do I mean by counterclockwise? So if you enter, this is where you should be driving towards. That is what we mean. So you don't drive to the opposite side. No, that is not what we mean. So please take note of that one as well. The next thing that you need to pay attention to whenever you hit into the runabout is that when you hit into a runabout and there are large vehicles or large cars, that is the long trailers and all that, please never intend to overtake them or interchange lane when you see these large vehicles, because if a large car is at the outer side of the roundabout, and he's turning or making a U-turn within the roundabout, you should know that the moment the large car takes the steer, automatically the inner side of the roundabout at the central reserve area, he will cover that section. So when you go and pass that section, he will cripple you or crumble you there. So please take note of that. The final rule that I want you to know at the roundabout is that whenever you hit into a roundabout or you enter into a roundabout and you intend to move out of the roundabout, always use your signals. So at the exiting point of the roundabout, you must show your signal where you are moving out to. And also make sure that if you miss your exit, please don't force your way to cut yourself into your exiting point whilst you know you've missed it. The moment you miss your exit point, go round the roundabout again and re-exit again. So take note of that. Those of us that when we are even on the highway and we bypass a junction, we engage reverse and come. No, we don't reverse on the main road, but Ghanaians do. So please take note. At the roundabout, when you miss your exit point, make sure you go round the roundabout again before you do another exit. Always, whenever you hit into a roundabout, always make sure that you use your signals if you intend to exit the roundabout. And also, if you miss the exit point at the roundabout, continue in the roundabout and come back again to where you want to exit. Don't force your way across. And take note that at every roundabout, traffic on your left always has the right of way. So when you are entering into a roundabout, take note and apply these rules and regulations. We saw all the illustrations from the sketch. So this will be the end of the section. Make sure you always drive with safety in mind. My name is the driver's teacher. Thank you for your time.